I made a video about Weezer and Fortnite a while back, and I said if the video reached 1,000 likes, I'd make a follow-up video about Weezer in the movies. And let's just say, you guys went above and beyond to reach that goal, while I went above and beyond to push off that video until now, almost a full year later. But I'm finally here to deliver on that promise. Starting with what I teased in the aforementioned video, did you know that Weezer was supposed to be in Shrek 2? It's true. The iconic opening scene with Shrek and Fiona's honeymoon was originally supposed to be accompanied with Make Believe's My Best Friend as the backing track.
You're my best friend, and I love you.
Not with Counting Crows, Accidentally in Love. Apparently, Weezer had been approached to contribute a song to the soundtrack, and Rivers looked around at what was lying around in the middle of their 4-year Green to Make Believe album drought and pulled out My Best Friend, and the Shrek producers denied it. Talking about it later, discussing Make Believe on the Weezer website, Rivers had this to say. Yeah, that song has some weird karma with Shrek. Shrek asked us if we had a song, and then I thought, oh yeah, I remember that song. Let me think about showing it to them. And they actually thought it sounded too much like it was written for Shrek. So, Weezer got gatekept from Shrek due to sounding too much like Shrek. Crazy. Later in that same discussion, Brian Bell goes on to describe how the song wasn't even completely finished at the time, meaning that when Shrek came a-knocking, Weezer didn't even bring their A-game. Which, being honest, I feel like Counting Crows was the better choice overall, so I'm not too upset by this. But using the demo of the track, we could have presumed that the original intro could have gone something like this.
My darkness, you're my best friend, and I love you, and I love you. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Now, despite this major fumble from Weezer, they would in fact go on to be featured in the next Shrek movie, Shrek Forever After, covering I'm a Believer, originally by the Monkees, and more known for being at the end of the first Shrek performed by Smash Mouth.
I thought love was only true in fairy tales.
But believe it or not, this appearance almost didn't happen either, because right before the band was supposed to go in and record the cover, Rivers Cuomo was involved in a bus crash. Unsure if the band was still going to be able to record at all, apparently the soundtrack supervisor had reached out to the band Vampire Weekend to record in Weezer's stead. However, the lead singer refused to capitalize on Weezer's misfortune, and then after all that, Weezer was able to record the song after all, finally earning them their Shrek years. Shrek wasn't the only animated film that Weezer has found itself heard in. Most recently, a cover of Island in the Sun was used in the newest Trolls movie, Trolls World Tour, as a brief part of a medley.
Welcome to Vacay Island, where every day is a vacay.
When you're on a holiday, you can't find the words to say.
Okay, that'll come out later.
Weezer was also used in the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, with an original track, It's Always Sunny in Bikini Bottom.
But I know everything is gonna be cool as long as you're here with me.
Along with their Teal album cover track, Take On Me, to close the film. As for the original song made, it's pretty obvious that it was just a song made specifically to cater to the film, containing several references to the yellow sponge in his home, it's in the title, but that is until it randomly just becomes the I Was Made For You demo from Alone, the Make Believe years, during the song's bridge.
'Cause I was made for you, and you were made for me. 'Cause I was made for you, and you were made for me.
But to kind of bring everything back together and just, cover over that inclusion, Rivers just kind of utters the word SpongeBob at the end of the bridge to bring it back into the theme.
The things you say keep me straight. I don't know what I'd do without you. SpongeBob.
Weezer also covered the Frozen 2 song Lost in the Woods, and it was just kind of slapped into the end credits as the Weezer version.
Now I turn around and find I am lost in the woods.
And in my favorite use of Weezer in movies, in Cars 2, during a montage scene of Mater and Lightning McQueen exploring Japan, Weezer can be heard performing a cover of You Might Think. Which, in the scene, is just kind of whatever, but what makes it my favorite is the context behind its use, because the song was originally covered by The Cars. So a song by The Cars is in the Cars 2 movie. But then, going about to create this sort of perfect Cars connection is the connection Weezer has with the band The Cars. Being that the frontman of The Cars, Rick Ocasek, was the producer for multiple of their albums, and is often cited as a critical reason to Weezer's success. So in this scene, you use a band related to The Cars to sing a The Cars song in a Cars movie, and that sentence alone is the reason why this is my favorite use of a Weezer song in cinema. And finally, the last use of Weezer I could find in an animated movie was supposed to be Alpha and Omega, with its use of Island in the Sun. But when I took that listing and tried to find footage of its usage, I simply couldn't. I tried Google, I tried YouTube, hell, I even Controlled F the freaking script and couldn't find anything. So I did the only thing I could and sat down and watched the movie. I watched the full hour and a half of this godforsaken, awful furry bait movie, and not once did I hear a lick of Island in the Sun. I even watched the credits, looked at the track listing, and there was nothing. In fact, there was none of the music that IMDb said that it had. And that, dear viewer, that was the day I learned that people can lie on the internet. Rest assured, I was livid, pounding my fist against my desk as I fell to my knees, as I screamed into the sky, "My God, why? Why make me watch such awful cinema?" And from that day forward, I solemnly vowed that any claims of inclusion had to either be fact-checked by myself or omitted entirely, which is why with a heavy heart that I am sorry to say that despite being listed, I couldn't find any usage of Weezer in Freebirds.
That's right. We're going back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get
SpongeBob.
And that accounts for Weezer's appearances in animated movies. I know when I made that light goal, I said movies in general and not just of the animated variety, but after watching that god-awful movie, I realized just how much work I got cut out for myself here. So, I thought it was best to separate these two. Rest assured, I'll talk about the rest of Weezer's use in film someday, so make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see it when it comes out. If I reach 1,500 subscribers by the end of the year, I plan to release something special to commemorate it, so each sub helps a ton. Peace and love. Eyesore, the whatever, signing out.